Much like the dinosaurs in Jurassic World, I too am always looking for my next meal, and oftentimes it comes from a food haven known as Taco Bell. So naturally, I want to make sure that if and when we move to Mars, that we can build a Taco Bell there. And no, this is not a sponsored video. This is an actual question that I've thought about. So yeah. Okay, so assuming we've already bought land from, I don't know, the Martian government or something, all we would need to open up our Taco Bell would be flour, meat, lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, sour cream, rice, and beans. And with those arrows in our arsenal, we can basically make anything on the entire menu. Okay, so I feel like I have to address, some of the small, minuscule, slight challenges, which are like the fact that Mars has about 38% of the gravity on Earth. It also has a very thin atmosphere of mostly carbon dioxide. It also has tremendously freezing temperatures. And on top of this, the soil on Mars is most definitely toxic for human beings. But I mean, look, if you just don't think about those things, they don't really exist. So we're good. We're definitely good. Anyway, one of the main things we need is flour. And to grow flour, you need wheat. And in order to grow wheat, you need some good soil, sunlight, and decent temperatures. We can address the sunlight and temperature problem by spending a boatload of money on some nice greenhouses. I mean, if we could send a car to space, we could definitely spend money on this. But there is still the unfortunate problem of soil. Now, I know what you're thinking. We all saw that Matt Damon documentary in 2015 where he was able to grow stuff like potatoes using his poop on Mars. And although this is something that might work, it's not the best solution to our problem. Wheat not only takes up more space than potatoes, it's also grass. And in order to use the soil on Mars, we would need to go through a lot of cleaning and a lot of processing. And even after all of that, it's not guaranteed that we can grow wheat just like that. But do not worry whatsoever. We have Spider-Man coming in to save the day. But it's not Spider-Man, it's called aquaponics. This is basically a method of farming that uses mineral nutrient solutions in water instead of soil. And given the challenges of toxins and stuff like that on Mars soil, this provides a pretty good alternative. And also, some things to mention before we move on. Aquaponics also refers to farming of fish and stuff like that as well. But in this case, I'm talking about only using it to grow wheat or vegetables that we would need for our restaurant. Anyway, don't tell Matt Damon, but this method provides a few benefits over poop farming. Water is going to be a pretty scarce resource, and most likely will be transported from Earth, so we got to use it efficiently. With aquaponics, we can recycle the water used and therefore not waste it. We also severely reduce pathogens and toxin risk by not using the soil, because that shit's dangerous. Oh, and we also have the space we need to grow wheat. That's also there too, so that's a plus. But of course, just like the security of the dinosaur cages in Jurassic World, this solution has its downsides. One of them being that it's going to cost a lot of money. But I mean, I wouldn't worry about that too much because I think building a Taco Bell on Mars will most likely be the single greatest priority for all of Earth, so we should be good there. Anyway, with this system, we can also grow lettuce and tomatoes, and even things like beans and rice. Beans are already grown using aquaponics in some places on Earth today, and because rice is dependent on water pretty heavily, we could also grow that here as well. But we still cannot greenlight the Taco Bell opening. We cannot, invite people. We cannot invite the media to the opening ceremony just yet, because we still need 3 key ingredients: cheese, sour cream, and meat. There are no cows and goats to get milk on Mars, so we have to resort to other methods to get dairy. The 2 main answers here would be to use lab-made dairy or plant-based dairy. Both of these are somewhat feasible for us on the planet called Mars. Some popular alternatives to dairy today are almonds, coconuts, and soy. But we probably can't grow the first 2 because that would require growing trees, and that's not likely in our water farming system just because of how long it would take to do so. But we can still produce soy in our farms, and we could use that as a way to make cheese and sour cream. And, hopefully we can find a way to make it taste good by then as well. And with soy, we can even make impossible, food substitutes as well, like plant-based meats as well. I don't know why I said as well again, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like you could also use it for that as well. But I know what you're saying. Plant-based meat is not actually meat. But in order to use actual meat like chicken or beef or whatever, you would have to grow it in a lab, which is still possible. But the concept of lab-grown meat and lab-grown dairy is still in development on Earth today. Maybe one day we can do that on Mars for our Taco Bell. But I mean, yeah, it is possible to build a Taco Bell on Mars. And hopefully the Taco Bell on Mars won't discontinue fan favorite items like the one here on Earth. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, and yeah.